police, stop! Seattle police, stop, dude!
Shot fired. Who's taking it?
Alright, Shalom. Here's your brother Hoya from the gym. It's Orlando
stop!
Camp. Alright, I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Wakakadash. Alright, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who are the elders of Yasha Allah, and the sincere salutations how you honor for preaching this word and believing this word, right, in all truth and sincerity. Alright, now this is Matthew chapter 24, let me just jump down to verse 12, alright, and it reads, "And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold." Alright, and that's exactly what's brewing out here in these streets, man, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shah. Alright, what's brewing out here in this world today, alright, because this is global, alright, in all of these so-called civilized nations, you have this division, alright, and that division is only getting greater. You know, the distractions aren't working as much as they used to. All right. And the world is beginning to fold under that pressure that the Lord is applying. All right. And when you go into Isaiah, the 13th chapter, and I'm going to grab it. All right. The Lord said what, man? He said the Egyptians are going to be set against Egyptians. All right. I'm going to just go ahead and bring that out real quick. All right. So this is, let me jump to it. This is Isaiah 19, all right? I'm going to start at verse 2, all right? And it reads, "And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom." And that's exactly what you have going on in the world today, man. It's very present. It's very prevalent, all right? And it's only going to wax worse and worse, all right? You got bus drivers uppercutting people who are riding on the bus, all right? You just saw a video of a guy who just decided to shove a flaming torch inside a cop car, man. All right, and this is before famine, all right? This is pre-famine. This is just a result of shelter in place, all right, and unemployment. Now imagine when that great famine starts to hit, all right? Imagine when things really start to turn up. All right, the world is going to get a lot crazier, all right, as it is written, all right. People don't realize that what's happening right now is the combination of actions that have started since the inception of Babylon the Great, America, and the order of the world as we know it, all right. When I say the order of the world, I mean the imperialism and the conquest by the so-called white man across the globe, all right. He started his kingdom off in violence. All right, and what goes around comes back around. And that's something that people in this world understand when it deals with personal business. All right, but the Lord, for the Lord, the whole globe is his business and it's personal. All right, as a matter of fact, let's bring this out. All right, this is Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 5. Zephaniah 3 and 5, and it reads, "The just Lord," all right? So don't get it twisted. Don't get it confused. Everything that you see going on out here in the world today is justified by Yahweh, by Shemel Shah. And a lot of people can't understand that because they don't understand the reincarnation and the cycle of life that the Lord deals with. And because they don't understand it, they don't understand why the love of many is beginning to wax cold in these last days. All right, when you think about the judgment day is nothing more than the sum of all this wickedness being unchecked. All right, the Lord said he held his peace for a minute. All right, but he said that day when he paid this world back for everything that's been done, that day was going to be great and there was going to be none like it. And we're not just talking about 24 hours. We're talking about a period of time. All right, Zephaniah 3 and 5 reads, "The just Lord is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning doth he bring his judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame." All right, so you can think of these judgments, all right, as the Lord responding to the wickedness and the violence, man. Whether it be a man or whether it be a nation of people. because that's how the Lord deals. Like I said before, the world is the Lord's business. How men conduct themselves on the planet Earth as a man, as an individual, and as a nation, that's the Lord's business. And the love of many are going to wax cold in these days. Why? Because that's the spirit that has grown in this earth, man. Dog eat dog, every man for himself. That's why, as a matter of fact, I'm going to go to Daniel. All right, that's why the Lord said that they shall mingle, but they shall not cleave, man. Why? Because it's saying that when you start off on wickedness, when wickedness is your foundation, when corruption, when greed, when lies, when that's your foundation, it's bound to fall. It's just a matter of when. All right. Now, this is Daniel chapter 2. I'm going to jump down to verse 40. I'm going to jump down to verse 43. All right. And it reads, "And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay." Because when you think about America, America is only one of many attempts by the people on the earth to become one people, to break up the diversity and the separation that the Lord made amongst nations, to break that up and to just be one people. And that's why the Lord titled it the Babylon, all right, or the Tower of Babel. When you go into Babel or Babal, that's confusion. And that's the only thing that you can get out of that equation is confusion. Because the Lord said very plainly that he made nations, he made people different from one another. And what you see going on in the so-called melting pot is what happens when you don't follow the law, statutes, and commandments. When nations aren't separated. When nations aren't given their own inheritance and their own place to call home. And you just want to mix everybody up in a pot. And that's why the love of many is going to wax cold. All right. As this empire begins to fall more and more, it's going to affect the personal lives of every individual in the nation. All right. Or I should say in this country, in this city. All right. In this state, in this country, on the globe. It's going to affect everyone personally. And a lot of people who aren't in their right mind to begin with are going to fold under that. And they're going to become more desperate, more violent, more aggressive. And this is only the beginning of sorrows, like the scriptures say. All right. Because like it says right here, it says they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. All right. And now what you have is the result of something like that. Because the only reason people really were able to get along for the most part and just talk shit about each other behind closed doors was because everybody was able to make at least a decent, comfortable type of lifestyle, if you will. But now that's slowly being taken away, man. And the hate that everyone has for each other is beginning to be revealed. All right. That's why Yahweh Shah said that very plainly. All right. The love of many is going to wax cold, man. All right. As a matter of fact, since I'm in Daniel, I'm going to jump down to 12, man. All right. So I'm going to go to Daniel's chapter 12. All right. And this is verse 1. All right. And it reads, "And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book." All right. And when you look at the combination of everything that's going on, all right, in the planet, all right, it's a setup. All right. It's a setup for a time like never before. All right. When you think about America in itself, right, you have roughly 300 million people, allegedly, according to Esau. You have 300 million people in America. All right, you have lax or relaxed gun laws. All right, everybody can buy a weapon. Anybody can stockpile weapons. You have a broken food supply chain. You have unemployment that is continuing to rise. That's why the scriptures say trouble shall make him afraid on every side, because, you know, even the economists, when you think about Peter Schiff, you think about, I believe his name is Richard Wolff. They don't have anything good to tell you. They don't have any solutions. Christopher Green. You look up some of those names and you look at some of their videos from the past, man, just the past 6 months. You can go farther than that, but just the past 6 months and just look at their sentiment concerning the markets, concerning the condition of Babylon in itself, which is America. As the quality of life decreases here, all right, people are going to be increasingly violent. These protests with pro-Trumpers and anti-Trumpers and Antifa and pro-Trumpers and Proud Boys, all of that has only been ignited by the condition of the quality of life of these individuals being taken down and taken away, and that idea of hope being taken away from them. How much more so when the food supply chain begins to break and crack even more? If this is what they're willing to do about political candidates, all right, how much more so, all right, when famine really starts to touch this place? And that's what the Lord mean by it's a time, there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation. And you got to think about, historically speaking, you've had famines, you've had people being besieged. You've had people who have resorted to cannibalism to feed themselves during besieges. You've had multiple wars with hand-to-hand combat. But now we're in a time where you have machines and weapons that have the ability to efficiently kill people at a fast, quick rate. And this combination is going to increase the violence in this place. All right, because the scriptures say, all right, and I'm going to grab it. All right, give me 1 second. I'm going to grab this really quick. In Revelations, all right, so this is Revelations chapter 18 and verse 21. And it reads, and a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. All right, so she lived deliciously, but her end is going to be worse than her beginning. And that's what we're witnessing. This is a transition when you can't turn the ship on a dime. And what I mean by that is that things don't just change overnight. It's gradual. And if you don't have the eyesolve, if you don't have the spiritual discernment to understand the signs of the times, you can't really grasp that this is a transition to somewhere different. That the idea of going back to normal, is just it's a fantasy. Now, the majority of the people on the planet, all right, particularly these Americans, really can't understand that because it's so new. The transition is so new. However, this is where it's going. All right, this is where this world is heading. All right, because now we're coming into the time where the Lord is about to allow the world to reap what it has sown. And the love of many are going to wax cold, man. Like even right now in this time period where the stimulus bill has run out and they're holding the next stimulus bill, maybe they'll vote one in this week, maybe they'll wait until the election. But these things are life or death for a lot of people. And it's only increasing cases of road rage, domestic violence, alcoholism, suicide. How much more so when the complete collapse happens? Because these things are inevitable. All right, when you understand the mind of the Lord according to what he's given us, we can never truly understand it. All right, not in these vessels. But when you understand what the Lord has given us concerning his judgments, how he feels about things that happen on the earth and what he's done in the past to give us an idea of what he will do. All right, he's warned us according to the prophecies that he's no longer going to hold his tongue as touching this wickedness that's going on here. And the Lord is not going to come down with a megaphone and talk it out. That's why he sends messengers. And this world isn't even spiritual enough to recognize prophets. How much more so the message and the warning from the Heavenly Father. And where words will not teach, adversity will, man. And this world is headed for a world of adversity, a world of judgment that cannot be escaped. I was meditating on this last week. There was a time where the Lord would warn us, in times like Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel. But once he got done warning us and he sent a nation against us and we got besieged and we were starved out, the Lord didn't stop because we cried to him. When the lady came to the king and was like, can you feed me? And he was telling her, look, if the Lord can't do it, if the Lord won't help you, who can help you? And I say that to say this, that once the warning is over, there is no turning back. Wherever you land at, that's where you land at. And as the violence in this world increases, all right, people believe that they're going to be saved by guns, by saving up meals, all right, by saving up, buying gold, buying Bitcoin, all right. But there's only one thing that's going to deliver, all right, from the said perils. And I'm going to bring that out really quick. All right, this is Proverbs 11, and I'll start at verse 3. All right, and it reads, the integrity of the upright shall guide them, but the perverseness of transgressors shall destroy them. Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death. That's why in Daniel's 12 it says it was going to be a time like never before. But thy people shall be saved out of it, everyone that is written in the book. Because every member of the nation of Israel is not going to be saved. Only the ones that are written in the book according to the Lord's election and mercy. Lord willing, we're part of that number. But that is the only thing that will deliver a soul from what's coming. From the time of Jacob's trouble, from the end of this present world and the beginning of it that followeth. And you're going to see more people begin to wax worse and worse. You're going to see more people destroy each other, all right, for the lack of bread, all right, and for these different issues. All right, I'm going to bring this out real quick, all right. This is 2 Ezra chapter 15 and verse 19, all right, and it reads, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. All right. And the Lord he's not slack concerning his words, man. All right. These things are not said in vain. They're not said in void. All right. They're going to accomplish what the Lord sends them out to accomplish. And the love of many, like Yahushua said, all right, like Hamashiach said, is going to wax cold, man. See this present world we live in where everybody is cordial and, they speak to each other even though they don't like each other, and all of these different things. It's possible when civilization is stable, all right? When people are relatively comfortable, when they have 3 meals, when they have a roof over their head, when they have some assurance of life. When those comforts are taken away, that idea of being cordial and asking nicely and all of those different things is going to go out of the window. And that's where we are entering into. That's the time that we're entering into. They have a saying in the world, ready or not, here I come. All right, the Lord is giving warning. But if you can't take heed to the signs, you have to understand that the Lord is not going to slow it down because you're not prepared. You see what's going on around you. For those who have understanding, who have ears to hear, all right, it's time to get in line, get your mind right and prepare. All right. And I don't mean prepare physically. I mean prepare your mind spiritually. Because you have a lot of people who are seeing what's coming and they're preparing physically. They're buying the guns. They're at the gun range every day. They getting 100 shots a day in, and, they practicing lifting up their sidearm and, pointing and shooting. They're practicing close quarter combat. But as it says in Proverbs 11, only righteousness is going to deliver from death. Because the Lord knows how to mock a man who thinks that he can escape judgment. And that's why the Lord said this, and I'm going to jump down to it. I'm going to go to Isaiah. All right, 55. And I'm going to jump to, man, this is a beautiful chapter. Let me start at 7, okay? I'll start at 6. Seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts, and let him return unto Yahweh by Shemel Shai, and he will have mercy upon him, and to our power, for he will abundantly pardon. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. All right, people don't really understand that, man. Because you're going to see some things in these last days that's going to make you think that the Lord not merciful to the naked eye. But when you're spiritual, you understand that the Lord has suffered this for a long time, man. Centuries. The Lord has held his peace. But he's no longer going to hold, he's not going to hold his peace forever. Eventually, judgment is going to have to happen. It's necessary. It's necessary to have a reward for righteousness and a consequence for wickedness. That's necessary. That's why they have judgment systems in this world. You got judges that give people years and execute people. Why? Because if you don't do that, then it'll be fully set in people's heart. All right. To just continue as is. And that's exactly what happened to this world. Because, matter of fact, because judgment is not executed speedily. All right. And I'm going to get it. Is Ecclesiastes 8:11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. All right, but people don't realize that eventually, all right, the Lord always had a number. All right, he numbered this kingdom. And this is only the beginning of sorrows, the attitude and the sentiments of the people on the planet. All right, it's not orchestrated by the government. It's orchestrated first and foremost by the Heavenly Father. That's why before Trump was born, before Biden was born, all right, before Putin was born, the Lord said that the love of many would wax cold, that there will be wars and rumors of wars, that there will be famine, that the grinding shall cease. Roughly paraphrasing. Before these guys in suits got on camera, the Lord had already called the number of this kingdom, how it was going to rise and how it was going to fall. And like it says in the Isaiah the 19th chapter, all right, the Lord said that he would set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. Brother against brother. I bring this up all the time. All right, for the most part, with Antifa and with the Proud Boys, you have Edomites on both sides, which are by flesh brothers. They're of the same nation. And I said that to say this, that the Lord is bringing prophecy to pass, all right? And it's always gradual, all right? As a matter of fact, since I mentioned Isaiah, let me go to 13. All right, it's Isaiah 13 and 14. And the reason it shall be as the chase roll, and as the sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee every one into his own land. Every one that is found shall be thrust through, and every one that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. And this is only the beginning of sorrows, man. All right, so Lord willing, this was edifying. With that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem, Rakakodash, the Barn City Apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who are the elders of Yasha Allah, and a sincere salutation to all you Akim, who are preaching this word and believing this word in all truth and in sincerity. Shalom.